welcome back. Today we are going to talk about all of the books that I plan on reading in April. April's going to be a busy month. I have a lot going on, personal things, family things, work things, but then I also have a fun trip coming up, so I will be going out of state for a couple of days and going to a friend's wedding. There's a lot going on. But with that being said, I wanted to talk about everything that I'm hoping to read in April. Starting with books I'm reading because of my friend Jessie. Jessie's channel is Reading with Jess, and she recently started memberships on her channel. We're called the Paw Print Pals, and she has all sorts of perks over there, but one of them is we're doing a buddy read this month. And that one is Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera, and I had missed out on this when it was the monthly pick for Book of the Month because I found one that I felt like was better when I read the description. But then after I got my box, I heard so many people talking about this book, and so then I was getting FOMO. Turns out it's on Everand, formerly Scribd. So if you wanted to check out Everand, my link is always in the description below. I think with the code you get like 90 days for free or something. I don't really know what it's about, but I'm ready to jump in and talk about it with the other Paw Print Pals. And then the rest of the books that I'm going to talk about are all of my Book of the Month books. So these are all of the unread Book of the Month books that I own currently, which is not that bad because I've seen some people have a lot. So I do a pretty good job of keeping the number to a minimum. I do pretty well at reading them as they come in. So these are mainly recent books. None of these are like super old. But I am reading those because we are doing a book subscription clear out in the month of April, part of spring cleaning, if you will, over on Gwen's Patreon. She has a Patreon for her podcast, Talk Bookish to Me. So I did this last year with them and I'm doing it again. So we're just trying to get those numbers of subscription box books down as a group, and we're doing it together. So I don't know how many of these I'm going to get to, but I'm definitely going to get to hopefully most of them. Let's start with my current read, Murder Road by Simone St. James. I love Simone St. James. I have given at least 2 of her books 5 stars. I really enjoy her as an author, and I'm trying to read through her backlist right now, but this is her newest release. It was an add-on for Book of the Month, and so I'm reading this because it's a Book of the Month that I have for my TBR to help me with my clear out. But then also Jessie is reading this for the Sleep When I'm Dead book club pick. So Jessie also has a book club on YouTube. It's not a membership or anything. You can just read the book and join the discussion for free. But she does have a Discord. I will link that in the description box below. And I will put on the screen the date and time of that live discussion so you can tune in. But this is about a newlywed couple that's on their way to their honeymoon and they find a hitchhiker on the road. And while they're taking her to the hospital because she's been stabbed, she dies. And then they become the #1 suspects. And I believe this is set in Michigan and it has small town vibes. I actually have just started this book, so come back at the end of the month to hear all my thoughts, but so far so good. And this is my oldest Book of the Month that I have. It's from October of 2023, and this is When I'm Dead by Hannah Morrissey. I read a Hannah Morrissey book, Hello Transcriber, and I enjoyed it. I gave it 3 stars. I probably would have given it higher, but I didn't like the ending. But this is her 3rd book that is about the same town, and people have asked me if you can read this out of order, and yes, you definitely can. They're totally different stories, totally different plots. They just happen to all take place in the same town. And I think this is kind of police procedural, kind of like the other one that I read. It says 1 girl murdered, another one missing, and a medical examiner desperately searching for the truth in the latest Black Harbor mystery by acclaimed author Hannah Morrissey. So it's all just set in that town. And I've had this on my TBR a couple times and I haven't gotten to it, so this is my month. Next, we have First Lie Wins by Ashley Elston, and this one I have heard some pretty mixed reviews about. I've heard some rave reviews about it, like best thriller of all time, and then I've also heard that it's extremely boring. So this one is from January of 2024. Evie Porter has everything a nice Southern girl could want: a doting boyfriend, a house with a white picket fence, a tight group of friends. The only catch, Evie Porter doesn't exist. So seems like maybe there's some like either memory loss, or it's somebody who's like in witness protection and needs a new identity. No, that's all I want to know going into it. And I just love that cover. That is like your typical thriller cover, right? Next we have Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanaugh. This is the one that I picked over the other Listen for the Lie because this one sounded better to me in the synopsis, but I haven't really heard anybody talking about it. So we'll see. This is from March of 2024 and it is set in New York, which I usually like. And it seems like it's about strangers who meet up and decide to like make a murder pact. Like, you kill for me, I'll kill for you, and they can like help solve each other's problems. So it seems like 2 women, they're gonna kill their worst enemies. So this does sound intriguing. I just haven't heard anybody talk about it, so I need to look up some reviews. Next, we have Wayward by Amelia Hart, and this, I believe, does have some magical realism elements, but I'm told that it's more so historical fiction, and the magical realism is like, it's not fantasy. But this was a nominee for the Book of the Month, Book of the Year, and so that's why I got this. It was the one that was most interesting to me on the list, because they give you a free credit to get one of the nominees. And this has 3 timelines, which I have read before and I have enjoyed, but it does take a lot out of me. Like, I feel like I have to pay extra close attention to figure out which timeline I'm in. It seems like 3 women in different times. We have 1942, 1619, and 2019. And it seems like they all have some sort of magical power, maybe? But I've heard good things. I've heard this makes people cry. It's a gorgeous cover, so I'm gonna give it a shot. And then last we have The Women by Kristen Hanna. This is a chunker of a book, but most Kristen Hanna books are. And all I know is that this is about a nurse in the Vietnam War, but I've heard really good things. I've seen people already say this is their favorite book of the year. I saw it on people's favorite book of the year last year. So I'm excited to jump into it, but it's gonna take me a while. Okay, those are all of the books that I'm going to read. These 6 plus Listen for the Lie that I don't have physically. Let me know down in the comments below if you're participating in anything that I talked about, if you're participating in Jesse's Buddy Read, in the Sleep When I'm Dead book club pick, if you're participating in Gwen's Book of the Month clear out, or if you're just doing spring cleaning for your TBR this month anyway. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out my channel, and I'll see you on my next video.